Local officials say Summit should lead the charge for Colorado's police reform. Phil Lindeman with your news from Avalanche Physical Therapy on Krystal 93. First, the second week of April started with a pair of wildfires in Dillon Sunday and outside of Heaney yesterday. And by today, we're looking at snow and cooler temps. Steve Lipsher with Summit Fire and EMS.
1-2 punch wake-up call for us of, hey, we're in fire country. We need to be prepared for wildfires. And even though it's early season, it's not too early to start planning for wildfires.
He recommends digitizing old photos and backing up important documents this mud season to store in a go kit with essentials.
Prepared even now for the possibility of another east troublesome fire like what we saw last October in Grand County, where you may be evacuated with very short notice.
See summitfire.org for a checklist of go kit items. Police accountability is back in the national news, and local commissioner Tamara Pogue hopes the state will look to Summit for leadership on Colorado's reform.
You can't watch what happens on the national news and not be horrified by some of the things you see. And yet I know that what happens in Summit County is a very different conversation. And we are, in a deeply innovative space when it comes to some of these things. Our SMART teams, our STAR program, which is our jail-based behavioral health program.
Moving through the state legislature now is Senate Bill 62, a bond reform measure that has changed immensely since it was introduced.
We really do need to make sure that we are balancing reform with also protecting our victims.
The current bill aims to clear space in jails statewide by outlawing on-site arrest for misdemeanors like drug possession and even felonies like arson.
What I hope we will find is a conversation between law enforcement and the sponsors, because from my perspective, everybody is embracing the same goal, right? Everybody wants us to move to a more fair and equitable system.
Pogue worries the bill right now will have dire unintended consequences if made law. It is opposed by Summit Sheriff and all local police departments. This week on the Commissioners' Roundtable.
I would say that there are 5 requests for every dollar, and it is really difficult to make those decisions.
That was Commissioner Pogue on the county's budgeting process and the uphill battle this relatively new commission faces with next year's budget.
There's a learning curve, as with any budget for any business or organization. You have to learn how, what are the restrictions, what are the different funds, how do they come together or not, what is our long-term forecast.
She says the county weathered COVID better than expected, like most local towns, and will get $6 million from the Federal American Rescue Plan.
Those are one-time funds, so we don't want to use them to fund existing programming. They're really designed for supporting our community, our workforce, folks that may have lost their job through COVID, supporting our business community.
Top of the list for that one-time cash is more COVID relief for residents and nonprofits and infrastructure upgrades like new search and rescue headquarters and the Silverthorne Library renovation.
What infrastructure could we use these funds for that would really help, 1, create jobs, and 2, meet some needs?
The board is taking applications soon for a citizen advisory committee open to anyone interested in guiding the county budget. We'll be back next week for the next Commissioners' Roundtable. Tomorrow at 7 a.m. is the annual A-Basin Enduro, when teams of 2 spend 10 hours lapping Pally Chair for all the bragging rights. Catherine Fuller with A-Basin.
Unfortunately, because of COVID, we can't do the raucous apparat after party. So we are going to do an online silent auction April 12th through 16th. And we're doing a separate sit-down, chef-prepared 4-course meal on the 14th.
All Enduro events are raising cash for Scotty Buell, a longtime Basin employee recovering from a recent stroke.
We always find a community member or a Basin family member to help out every year.
Most teams will ski upwards of 60 laps tomorrow. Top teams will get over 70. That's more than 7 laps per hour. In sports, the Rockies open a series with the Dodgers tonight at 8:10. And in local sports, brought to you by American Family Insurance, the Weiss Agency, Summit High Volleyball plays Battle Mountain at home tonight. Phil Lindeman with your news from Avalanche Physical Therapy on Krystal 93.